Good evening and welcome back for another edition of the Watchpoint Post Show. We are live from the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles. Oh, that sun, it's going down. It's nighttime here. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Chris Bucket. I'm joined at the desk. We've got Bren. We've got Sideshow. So he's on a break, so we brought in Hexagrams.
A terrible replacement for Zoe, but I'll do my best.
I think you're doing fantastic. You're the #1 Chengdu fan, and today you helped them
I
get a
have
big
been
win.
the champion of Chengdu since day one. I'm happy for my boys.
All right, well, let's start off with what we always do here on the show, and that's, of course, where I get to ask you, what did you learn today? Let's start at the end here. Actually, Bren, can we start with you?
Sure.
What did you learn today, Bren? Because your Shanghai prediction didn't come through, but you had some good ones, right?
I like Eamon now more than before. I think Chengdu have taken that top spot as my favorite team. Shanghai's kind of like over here in the Shanghai zone.
Okay.
I can't even see it. It's actually off camera. It's just in an entirely new zone of its own. It doesn't really compare. But Chengdu, out of all of them, I just like fun teams to watch, you know.
I like Josh's faces while you explain what you like. Josh, what did you learn today?
I don't think you can string a coherent sentence together. It's unbelievable at times. What did I learn today? I learned that Hexagrams is correct. You can never bet against Boston Uprising.
Exactly.
And
That is facts.
Chengdu are fantastic to watch there. I love Eamon. He's my favorite player.
All right, you stole Bren's answer. What about you, Hex?
You stole mine a little bit too, because it's not really what what I learned. Hopefully the people at home learned, stop betting against Boston. I don't know how they're doing it. It's like looking at a sunset. I don't need to understand it to appreciate its beauty. There's something great happening there, and I can't figure it out, but it's awesome.
We're going to be talking deep about Boston in a minute, but let's get right into it, Bren. Let's get into the action as the Stage 2 meta starts to take shape. We've all been wondering, what are the Chengdu Hunters going to be running? What are they going to come up with? Today, they showed us a lot against the Paris Eternal. Let's jump right in. They were up 2-0 at the half. Blizzard World was our game 3.
It certainly was. And it was a weird one, honestly. Chengdu started out with a decent offense. Yeah, they capped with a huge amount of time left on the point. But it's the defense that was just mental. I've never seen someone hold forward here on Blizzard World, and I've certainly never seen someone spawn camp with Wrecking Ball.
This is
like
absurd.
the unbelievable Chad Eamon. It was outrageous.
What was the number? He knocked back 123 players
Yeah.
during Blizzard World, which
Wow.
you did the math on. He knocked back everybody at least 20 times.
Yeah, unreal. And they just couldn't punish him. They just couldn't kill him.
He's just an absurd human.
Can you imagine playing a game and getting knocked back 20 times by the same freaking
I mean,
ball?
I think I would have quit, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm half surprised that Paris didn't just walk over to his PC, unplug his mouse, and just walk off the stage.
Rialto is looking a little bit better for Paris. They stopped the Hunters from finishing the second point, or third point, I should say. But ultimately, it's Chengdu finishing this one strong.
To be dead honest, as good as the hamster was and everything and how fun they are, this was the one thing I wanted Chengdu to work on after stage 1 is coordinating their ultimates, because they've always had these kind of compositions, but like using EMP in a barrage, it sounds like a simple thing, but they're finally doing it on a good and consistent level that's winning them fights.
Now, at the end here, Eamon was just yo-yoing around the point, like
Yeah.
Ren was
He learned
demonstrating
from
at the
my
beginning.
desk.
He
That's
just
it.
couldn't kill him at all. And they ended up clutching a fight that lasted about a minute long.
Is pretty ridiculous stuff.
It was.
I like it. Chengdu all day. I'm on the bandwagon. Thank you for starting it back in stage 1. Hex, let's talk about our second match of the day, because for the second time this season, Neko and the Toronto Defiant faced off against his former squad, the Boston Uprising, who haven't lost a regular season match since week 3 of stage 1. Pretty impressive stuff. But let's take a look at the early action here. It was the Defiant taking the first control map here.
Yeah, this team is pretty good, you could say, at this point, honestly. And I think we need to pin a lot of this down to the coaching and support staff that's behind Boston once again. We need to talk about the particular players behind the scenes, because they are swapping players in and out faster than a game of musical chairs. And yet they're still ending up putting up some results and reverse sweeping. You know?
It wasn't pretty, though, in the first half. It was the Defiant in charge. Josh, what did you learn about Toronto today?
Well, I think they still look very capable on these, in this stage, on this meta. I'm 37's been putting up good performances, but again, they just can't close out the game. The Defiant are going to be really disappointed with this, because they were the better team in the first half. But like Brent's saying, Boston Uprising, they just always come back. And this is 3 reverse sweeps in a row. So even though teams do look like they outperform them and are getting the better end of them, like the Toronto Defiant did here, unless you can win this third map, you've got to start worrying.
We talked about it at the half. Anything could happen in the second half, and Boston definitely showed up.
Well, I think you have to give the coaching credit a ton of respect because they're reverse sweeps, which means they're getting halftime adjustments, which we don't see from a lot of teams in the Overwatch League. What went wrong? How do we fix it? You can only reverse sweep when you're down 2-0. They go to the halftime dugout, they have a meeting with their coach, and then they execute it towards the end. And as good as IM37 was in the first half, that's how good Hex was at the other half. Color Hex, that is. But the Hex always put it at the top.
Yeah, this one was an odd one as well on Rialto because the Boston Uprising looked like they struggled a little bit with the offense, but then they just totally lock out Toronto on defense. And I think the reverse sweep gets into these players' heads.
Oh, yeah.
The idea of
Happening.
Yeah, exactly. The Toronto Defiant could feel it, especially when they went on to Rialto. And then on Oasis, by the time Boston have got you here, it's all over because your mentality is absolutely gone if you're the team that's about to get reverse swept.
We talked about Neko so much because he's playing against his former team, but can we give AimGod some credit? The man who replaced him, AimGod crushed
The
on Ana
sleeps
today.
were so good.
Sick.
Two really clutch sleeps that won 2 maps, essentially. Like, fantastic performance.
Is Color Hex the pickup of the year, though? I look at all the talent in the Overwatch League, I'm like, who else gave a chance to the New Zealand players?
Boston's one of the only teams that scouts players that aren't Korean. They will find talent wherever they can.
That's the big ones. I've been bigging up the key for a while. Also the largest export of sheep, New Zealand.
Thanks, Brad.
No, that was the right response. The deafening silence. I think that was the correct response.
Well, here you guys see it. This is the first time in Overwatch League history that a team has won 3 consecutive regular season matches in reverse sweep fashion. That you lose 2, you come back, you win the series. What do you guys think about Boston Uprising, though? Is it good that they can pull off the reverse sweeps, but they're giving up 2 games early on?
This gives me, this kind of gives me reminders, flashbacks to Season 1 when they went on that 14-match win streak, but a huge amount of them went to Game 5.
Right.
And anything could have happened there that would have totally altered history, and the Boston Uprising would not have had that perfect stage and wouldn't have been able to go onto it. So they're really playing on the balance here, but it seems more likely to me that they're going to fix things and start to get better than start to lose this.
Do you agree with that?
It's clutch training, it's mental fortitude. I want to see them win more dominantly against worse teams, but the teams that they're reverse sweeping now are teams about at their level. So I think like when they face the bottom half of the league, I want to see domination more before I call it legit. But I think it's good.
All right, Boston, 3 reverse sweeps. That's good for me. Coming up, guys, we're going to see if the new look Mayhem were able to hold their own against the Philadelphia Fusion. Don't go anywhere. It's the Watchpoint Post Show. We'll be right back. Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
You want
I'm gonna jump bottom left. Oh, never mind.
to high ground?
No time.
I'm gonna have Valk now.
Yeah.
And we
Sit down.
Oh! I guess.
I forced it, guys.
Nice boombox.
It was all me.
At the start of this one, it looked like the Mayhem might be able to do what they did back in Stage 1 the last time they played up against the Philadelphia Fusion. Unfortunately, that was short-lived, but they did look good here on our first map. Saya player alongside BQB in the now all Korean-speaking squad.
Yep, they absolutely did. I think they're Florida, you can see these glimmers of hope coming from this squad when they play. You can see there's some pieces there, but there is some missing as well, which they're hopefully going to be fixing in the subsequent weeks. But, you know, who knows? You know, it's early days yet. There's still a roster that's kind of just been tacked together almost. I don't want to say tacked together, it's a little bit rude, but it's definitely needs a bit of work, a bit of polish before you can really consider
It's an
them to be a
evolving
beat.
roster.
No, but if you're,
That's a polite way to put it,
if you're a
yeah.
Florida fan, you're happier over the last couple of games. They have shown signs of life that they can actually kill things.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
Like, some of your favorite players are on their favorite heroes again. They do look better than they did in Stage 1, which would be impossible not to do. However, like you said, signs of life is the perfect phrase.
When I was taking a look, actually, looking back over some clips, I think one of the biggest things throughout this match was underperformance from Zephyr. As much as I dislike calling out individual players for like large throw
The
performances.
Diva, what was going on?
Yeah, the Diva. Zephyr was out of position a huge amount, just costing his team a bunch of different fights on Anubis, and then this large C9 that happened on Junkertown when we go into the next map. So I think as the Florida Mayhem move forward and start to replace people, I'm going to be honest, I think the first person on the chopping block is probably going to be Zephyr here.
Gotta have to fight for your spot in the future. But let's take a look at where this really went wrong. We came in with the Philly quote reacting to it. Brett, what went down on Junkertown?
Well, in particular, I want to think of it a little bit bigger picture here with Philadelphia Fusion, because I've been talking in a pre-show, I talked to the halftimes about the emotions of Philly, right? And how they can get in their own heads a lot of the times. They can start tilting a little bit. They didn't do that. They lost the first map. They came back strong on the second. They didn't need the halftime to get back into it. I think that's honestly quite an impressive showing for a team like Philly, because they are one of the worst for just kind of crumbling under that kind of pressure. So a lot of credit to them. They seem to be working on a lot of their issues.
Don't
when
get
it
off the
comes to-
cart, Zephyr.
Oh, he's gone.
Aw.
Bye-bye. Peace, bye-bye.
He's not the only one.
Unfortunately.
Takes 6 to C9, all right?
Does it?
Does it?
No.
No.
I think Philly actually Philly love playing Junkertown though. It kind of fits their team's style, and I think they're very comfortable on it. So it's nice that they ended this series on Junkertown, because it's like back to their comfort. You don't have to play outside of your comfort zone. Your mentality is kind of all under wraps.
They finished top 4 in our stage 1 during the playoffs. Do you think this is a top 4 caliber team right now, Hex?
No,
No.
I don't.
There we
I think
go.
there's 4 better teams in the Overwatch League than Philadelphia.
All right, there we have it. All right, the
That's not
NYXL is
spicy.
one of them.
This is a fact.
That's right. NYXL is definitely one of them. They got off on the right foot here in stage 2 with a decisive win against the Fusion, but could they keep that momentum up against the Dragons? The answer for Bren
Maybe.
was no. For the rest of us, definitely yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Having said that, a lot closer than I expected it to be, honestly. New York is still showing a couple of signs of things being a little shaky for them.
Where are they?
Well, not on this map in particular, because Mano absolutely manhandled them. But over when we went on to Hanamura, there was a couple of instances where they kind of pushed through a choke point, and then their focus fire just went to pieces, and Shanghai were able to pull out a draw there. And yes, Shanghai throws some unusual stuff, and yes, their individual players are pretty talented, but you expect the teamwork from NYXL to be a lot better than the teamwork from teams like Shanghai.
think about how different this game would have been, given the fact that we've got Shanghai Dragons, who were so close to winning Oasis's map, and they didn't do it. They just fell short a little bit. How different would this game have been, considering Hanamura now, which was a draw,
Right.
that came out a little bit later on. And I think again, it's a habit when it comes to that final map in the series where it matters so much, where teams will just kind of crumble a little bit mentally, as we
Right.
saw on Gibraltar
But I think
later on.
a key when you're always thinking about discussions like that is it's equally likely for Shanghai to have lost Hanamura as to have won Hanamura when it entered a draw. People always think about the positives, but they did absolutely have to clutch it for it even to end in a draw. So I think Shanghai have got some positives to take away from this, but it wasn't like a fantastic result that they got robbed of, in my
You're
opinion.
saying my prediction wasn't bad.
No, I'm saying your prediction was bad.
So you're
was
saying
very
it wasn't bad.
I'm saying it was terrible.
Mano continues to be the least talked about MVP in the league. I don't know why people just, because he's so good, so constantly good,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like, you just
Yeah,
feel
it's
like he
fantastic.
just gets overlooked because he's so robotically dominant on tank.
And I don't think anyone highlighted Meko's play today. How many grabs did that man eat? I saw at least 2.
Don't have the
3.
numbers for your pocket, but probably at least 2.
Where you at? I wanted to say 4, and then I was like, Captain Planet's going to tweet after this. I'll be totally wrong.
It's the tragic part about the New York XL tank line is because they've been so good, so consistently good for so long that we look at Jonak, we look at Libero, but Jonak and Libero aren't the players they are without Mano and Meko.
There you go. After the draw, it's a 3-0. New York Excelsior has still yet to drop a map in stage 2. Pretty impressive stuff through 2 matches. I like it. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're We're going to have more Britishness than you can handle. That's right. It's not the Queen. It's one better. We got the great Cruz joining the desk. We'll be back after this.
I think you can be fine for that.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back to the Walker's Point Post Show. We're giggling here on the desk. Cruz is joining us, and we have a great surprise for you. Paris Eternal, you guys didn't get the win tonight, Cruz, but I'm glad you could join us. We all met you back at the UK team playing in the World Cup for the Overwatch, before the Overwatch League this season. But now we get a chance to watch you in a Paris jersey. And I want to start here with just talking about the differences from Stage 1 to Stage 2.
Yes.
For a support player,
Yes.
what are the big changes now?
I mean, I don't know, like the meta is still not very defined, I'd say. A lot of people are playing different things. I guess the biggest change is a lack of Rhine. So to play a lot more passive, you can't really go in as deep anymore. So yeah, just playing slower, really.
Are the Lucio changes affecting you at all?
I don't know, not really, not too much, honestly.
I like it. Hex?
You've got a full stage under your belt now, from Contenders now to Overwatch League. Like, what's the transition been like? What's the big thing that surprised you the most about coming to the league?
I guess the biggest thing is how fast people adapt. It feels like one day you could beat a team really consistently, then the next day they're just smashing you. They just adapt very quickly, I guess down to like good coaching staff and stuff like that. So yeah, just having to be on the ball a lot.
You came out hot in Stage 1, and you're coming out kind of hot in Stage 2 as well. I say kinda, unfortunately.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. How do you feel like do you guys feel like you can keep this momentum going now into the rest of the Stage 2, considering you've got your games clumped up earlier on into the stage?
Yeah, I definitely think Stage 2 will be better for us. I think with Stage 1 we learned a lot of things. We're a brand,
Okay.
like we're a brand new team, like not even brand new to Overwatch League, like a brand new team. You know, like some teams like Vancouver were already a team. They come to Overwatch League,
Yeah.
they don't have to like adapt and like learn things together as much as like us and new teams, right? Like we learned a lot. And Stage 1 was a good experience for us. We fixed a lot of our mistakes, and yeah, I think Stage 2 will go a lot better for us.
Nice.
We've had a number of discussions on the desk about the Paris Eternal and like what metas might suit you. And I know that you kind of had this thing at the beginning of the league of not wanting to be judged as like a triple tank, triple support team. How do you feel like this meta suits you? Because you look really prepared in your opening game.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Shadowburn. You've seen his Pharah. It's ridiculous, right? Like, it depends. I don't know what the meta is right now, but like what we played recently was a lot of Pharah, Sombra, Widow, and we've got the players for it. We've got Soon, Daniel, Shadowburn. They're all excellent at it. So I don't know what like meta best suits us, but I think we're fine in this. We just got kind of caught off guard today, big time. Chengdu, we had 2 days to prepare for them, and they ran a lot of stuff which really caught us off guard. Like,
weird
you,
stuff.
You can't really prepare for Chengdu, right? Like you scrim, you play people, they play kind of similar stuff, and with Chengdu they just play just completely different stuff. So like in-game adapting, and then they've kind of played against other stuff before, right? Because we ran like kind of normal stuff, so they know what to do. But then we're playing like, oh boys, what do we do here? Like it's like we gotta like adapt on the fly, you know. So it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult.
For your role in particular, what was the hardest part of that? Was it Among? Was it Jinmu hitting you with rockets from above?
It's like I guess like knowing, like just getting caught off guard. Like with them on Blizzard World, they were running us into spawn. Like I didn't expect that, so I wasn't prepared. But we kind of adapted later on. But yeah, like stuff like that. It's hard to like adapt your positioning, right? You're used to one thing, and another team completely changes it up. It's quite difficult.
Unique strategies are paying off. Well, Cruz, I'm glad you're here for us because we're going to play a game. And as much as it pains me, I'm going to pass over the hosting reins to the young Joshua Sideshow Wilkinson. Josh, take it away, bud. What are we doing?
Welcome to the #1 British game show here on the Watchpoint desk. It's the Great British Slang Off. We've paired up 2 teams of 1 American and 1 Brit. Here's your teams, your first team, your second team. Each of the Brits that is paired up here. We've got Harrison Pond and Brennan Hook, 2 of the most British guys you'll ever lay your eyes on. They're gonna read out some British phrases, and these American people of questionable intelligence are gonna try and decipher what the original English language translates to in American speak. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Ready as I'm
You
ever
ready
gonna
as
be.
you'll ever be?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's begin then with Cruz as our first guest. What is your British slang for Hex to try and translate here?
Okay, you're never gonna get this. Like, you may as well, can we just go next? Okay, like have a butcher's at this.
Have a butcher's at this. Give this a try.
It's a good guess. It's a good guess.
Is that gonna hit?
Reasonable.
Not quite though. I'll give you a hint. All right, so this is what we've got written down here. Take a butcher's at Decay and Sinatra. They should be swimming in bees and honey. Does that help you? Does that help you any?
It makes it worse.
No, take mine then. We're moving on. We're moving on. Number 2, Cruz. Number 2.
Okay.
Oh, wait, Cruz, give me the answer. What was it? For everybody at home.
I mean, I don't like you. This must be. I don't know. I thought he was right. I thought he was right.
Oh, man, look at this. No,
Have a butcher. It's
Cruz
have a look at this. Like a butcher's at this. You know, like have a look at
No,
this.
listen, it's Cockney rhyming slang. It's Butcher's Hook. It's have a look. Right, onto that.
That's what I just-
Cruz
that's
is
what I just
clearly
said.
not from London.
That's what I
He
just
said have a
said.
try. Okay,
We
so
need a new host.
All right, next one. Sorry.
Next one.
Okay, that bloody Jim is skiving again.
That bloody what?
That bloody is a name. Like that bloody Hex is skiving again.
Oh, that Hex is cheating or scheming again.
Not quite, not quite. I'll give you my hint. My hint always
Right.
helps.
Yeah, it's worse.
Is there a more notorious skiver than Josh Sideshow Wilkinson, king of the DOS? Skiver.
Jerk?
A good try, a good try. No, the answer is a skiver. It's someone who dodges work.
Yeah.
They're not turning up. when
That
they
wasn't
need to.
accurate.
It does fit,
Exactly,
yes.
exactly.
I
All
wouldn't
right.
know what that means because I fill in for you when you dodge work.
Right, number 3, Cruz.
Okay, up the apples and pears.
Up the apples and pears. Up the ante?
Again, Cockney rhyming slang. Okay, I'll give you another hint. When your Ryan gets walloped off the high ground and has to toddle up the apples and stairs.
That's a good one.
Gets walloped off the high ground, has to toddle up the apples and pears.
Okay. You just gave me the answer, right? That's not a hint, right?
Well,
Walking
no.
upstairs?
There
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine.
Apples and pears stairs.
All right,
Got it.
final one, Cruz.
Last one. Okay, proper jammy. Proper jammy.
Proper Jemmy. Very good.
No.
Oh, it's close, it's close.
Ready for bed?
How about this one, Hex? Here's the hint. Cruz and the lads got proper jammy with their stage 2 schedule.
Okay, yeah.
Boned?
Very nice way of saying that, X. Very nice.
No, it's lucky.
Yeah.
Got proper jammy, got proper lucky. Oh, Hex has lost it.
I was going to say that, but it wasn't as funny.
Okay, so 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4 for the Cruz and Hex team. Let's move on to our experts.
All right.
You gave him one?
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
one.
you got
right?
one.
Yeah, you got one.
All right,
Okay,
fuck it.
so Bren, number 1.
Number 1. All right, Puggy. You got some experience, sort of talking to British people. I'm assuming you're going to be
Fact.
winning this one. All right, number 1. Wind your neck in. Wind your neck in.
Is that a why ain't?
Wind your neck in. Wind your neck in.
Why aren't you
Wind
looking?
your neck in.
Clearly not getting it. All right, here's
Why
your
aren't
hint.
you looking?
Here's your hint, Puckett. Here's your hint. Wind your neck in and shut your teeth, son. Don't get Larry with me.
This is
Don't get
horrible.
Larry with you.
Don't get Larry with me.
Come on.
Watch your manners, watch your mouth.
Kind of.
Be good.
Can you
We
give him a
won't- we
point
won't
for
give you
that,
a-
please?
It means
Wind your neck in.
don't get aggressive. Don't get aggressive.
Bring your
Back
neck
off,
back.
calm
Oh,
down.
protect
wind
the
it
chin.
in, you know?
Boxers, got
All right,
it.
wind
Yeah.
it in.
Bren, number 2.
Number 2. All right. Don't laugh at this. Don't laugh at this.
I'm laughing. Go.
Give me a tinkle on the blower.
A very valid British phrase.
Thank
a very
goodness
valid
for having
British
them.
place.
Just say
Give
no.
me-
Just say no.
Give me a give me a
All right,
tinkle
I
on
wanna
the
keep
blower.
my job.
Here's
Give me
another
a
hint.
tinkle on the
Here's another
blower.
hint. Here's another
A
hint.
tinkle on the blower?
Yeah.
You got it? You think?
Call me on the phone.
Oh, he's a genius.
How did you get
exactly.
that?
Pick up the
Unreal.
fucking
They're
phone.
cheating.
Give me a
There's
bell.
no way they're cheating.
Why don't you guys just use words? I don't understand.
All right,
me a
so it's
tinkle on the
currently
blower.
tied at 1 apiece. Bren, number 3.
Number 3. Throw a wobbly.
Throw a wobbly.
Throw a wobbly.
No, too slow,
yeah,
too slow.
I got nothing.
But you should remember, Puckett, we had to leave that restaurant when Bren got Mardy and threw a wobbly the other night.
Oh, you threw a drink?
I'm afraid not. That would be more like throw a jelly, wouldn't it, really, rather than a drink? It means you've got a temper tantrum. You're having a temper tantrum, you're throwing a wobbly, you're getting angry, this
Understood.
kind of stuff.
Makes so much sense.
Question 4, this one for the win, Bren.
All right, chuffed to bits.
Chuffed a bit.
Chuffed to
I
bits.
know this one. Can I steal?
Chopped to bits.
Chuffed. Chuffed to
All right,
bits.
all right, here's the hint. This
You
one's
didn't even
football.
understand me. Give him some time.
I can't. Yeah.
Give him some time,
Go on then,
Josh.
Puckett. One
Chuffed to
chance.
bits.
Chuffed to bits. You giggled to death.
No, terrible, absolutely terrible. But here's a great hint for you. Here's a great hint.
Thank you.
Cruz wouldn't be chuffed to bits if Finzi went for a diva bomb and whiffed, throwing a spanner in the works and making a right dog's breakfast of the fight, and ended up with his Lucio popping his clogs.
Get obliterated.
Chuffed to bits, being super excited, super happy.
There you go.
For the steal.
Well,
nice.
yeah, I think the steal is there.
I think they deserve it.
What? No.
Gotta give
Cruz
it to
is the
Hex.
guest.
Gotta
Give
give
the
it to
guest
Cruz
the
and
win.
Hex.
Why don't
win,
you
I win.
guys just stop speaking made-up languages?
Thank God I knew that tinkle on a blower was a phone call.
Well,
All
they're
right,
taking a steal.
Josh, you're done. Hosting privileges removed, guys. That was fun, but I'm going to be taking this show back. Don't go anywhere, though. Cruz is going to be sticking around with us for most over-the-top moments. Yeah, we got 5 of them. It's after this. Don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.
I hope you're chuffed to bits because the Watchpoint Post Show is back and we still got Cruz with us. That's right. Cruz from the Paris Eternal is joining us on the desk for my favorite segment of the day. It's time for the most over-the-top moments. Here we go, kicking things off at number 5. Cruz, who do we got? It's Shadowburn, your teammate.
Legend.
Look at this man.
It's got to
He's
be
a
number
legend.
1. You didn't see this. You didn't see this at the
No,
time,
I
mate.
saw it already. I saw it
Look at
already.
this.
Backstage, I saw it.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's
Unreal.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's unreal.
Does he do this all the time in practice?
Shadowburn is unbelievably good at that.
I don't want to spoil this for you, but you actually missed the second shot. It hit the wall.
I don't care.
Why is
Actually,
this
no,
guy
Likely
It's all
talking?
over the
story.
top
Likely
dog right
story.
here.
Number
Look at
4.
that.
Let's keep it
Sidewinder
rolling.
1, Sidewinder 2.
Oh, God. Yeah, this is
Oh,
what
here we
happens.
go.
If you come to the Blizzard Arena, you see some sweet moves. Look at Kevin K, our stage manager. The double microphone.
Look at
Shaking those maracas.
I was just trying to keep up with that, man.
What is your maneuver?
It's better than you making anything
I
in me.
can't talk about it on camera. Let's go to number 3. It's Yakpung, the Wrecking Ball dive. Pretty nice. How do you deal with the bunker comp? You nano boost a Wrecking Ball and let him kill all 6 of them.
Just went for it, didn't he? Look at him go. Madman.
Can we watch it one more time? Yeah, if you're a Wrecking Ball player, work with an Ana like this.
I'll allow it.
We should break the shield.
We should have given Cruz a warning before we showed him this, though, to be honest.
Sorry about that, buddy. Coming up at number 2, Cruz, you can just talk us through this one.
I don't want to talk about this one. This one's
All right.
disgusting.
Disgusting.
I don't want to relive this moment, please.
What was disgusting about it?
I want to forget about it. It was just unbelievably smart.
Smart?
Unbelievably smart.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty smart. Like, I don't understand why no team has ever thought of this before.
Is
honestly, in
Symmetra
terms of-
actually viable? Should we see her more often in stage 2?
I mean, I'm not sure, but they're using it like this. It just catches us off guard. Like, you have to adapt really quick, and then they get to the point, and I don't know, they force mistakes out of you.
Chunky Hunters, the Sneaky Beavers. Let's move it on to number 1. Here it is. It's Boston's 3rd consecutive reverse sweep.
UK
Ridiculous.
players.
They can't keep getting away with it, right?
players.
But they keep doing it.
They've got a UK player on their team. They can always do it.
Oh, boy.
And that's all she
Fusions
wrote.
and crew getting fired up. That was our most over-the-top moments, and we want to, of course, show some love. We got to show you. Here is our Twitch Cheer Bits leaderboard, and guess who's in the top 10? It's Cruz and Crew at number 8, the Paris Eternal.
What confuses me is why no one took Bren's advice and sold all of that DeFran stock. It's still all the way at the
Still going
top.
up. It's still going up.
It really is.
Atlanta is loved, and of course, here are your most, well, the big fish, the whales. Numbra TV has been in that number 1 spot for days, helping Atlanta get that number 1 spot. Lackish Bobby, you've been replaced by Pepin Deepom. He's
That was
been
a while
hanging out
ago,
with us
Puckett.
here in the building.
That was a while ago, mate.
He's gonna climb back up there one day. Don't worry
One
about
day,
it.
It's a
Don't
battle
worry
between
about
1 and 2 at this point.
There we have it, your top 10, and of course, we got to take a look at our overall standing so far. Remember, we're done with our first 7-game stage 1. We're now in stage 2. Excelsior, perfect at 9-0 in the regular season. Bren, any jumps that you've seen? A lot of teams were tied at 3 and 4.
Yeah, well, it's just gone now, so I'm going to talk about the schedule instead.
That works.
You know? Beautiful teams playing tomorrow. Look at that. Vancouver Titans versus Spark actually could be a certified banger, and I think it will be.
I'm looking forward to all these matches. Let's talk about some of the big ones for you. Starting with Joshua, what are you looking forward to most, my friend?
I'm going to enjoy watching Chengdu play against Justice, I think. I want to see Amon just start on some nerds.
That'll be too fast of a match. What about you, Hex?
Well, everyone knows I'm already on the Chengdu wagon, so I'm going to look for Charge to rebound a little bit. They don't have to beat San Francisco, but they need to hang with San Francisco. Otherwise, it's going to be a long stage.
Cruz, you got the day off tomorrow. You've played both matches here in week 1. What are you going to be doing?
Sleeping. Hungover most likely, but we'll see.
There you go. We'll help you celebrate after the show. And what about you, Brendan? What are you most fired up for on Sunday?
Got to be that match 3, isn't it? Vancouver Titans versus Hangzhou Spark. Heard good things about Hangzhou. Big Goose was bigging them up the other night. I think it could be match of the day.
All right, I think that is going to do it for us here at the desk. If you're still here in the arena, don't worry. We got an NYXL signing, another great reason to come visit us here in LA. That's going to do it for Watchpoint, but don't miss, we got a Q&A live here on Twitch.tv with Bacon Jack from the Chengdu Hunters, and it's only available with the Overwatch League All Access Pass. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow with the pre-show. It kicks off at 11:30 Pacific, as always.